hydrogen water. A lot of people are always asking me, how do you drink the water? Because I mean, you don't just have one little cup, guys. You really need a certain amount if you want it to be therapeutic. Okay, so before I begin, obviously, I'm not going to give you any medical advice. I'm not going to make any medical claims. I'm not making any claims for or against any product or products. And everything stated in this video are the opinions of the speaker and should not be construed as claims for or against any product or products. All right, guys. So I'm going to drink. So I'm going to start now. And you're going to see how fast I do it and just the way that I do it. Right now, I'm on an empty stomach. I already cleaned my mouth. That's actually part of the routine, meaning brushing. No toothpaste or anything. You just have to clean the mouth because we really grow bad bacteria in our mouth at night. And when you drink or eat something before you clean your mouth, it's actually been shown in interesting Japanese studies can potentially lead to cancer and stuff. It's pretty wild. So first thing I do is, well, I'm going to pour myself a good sized glass. And this is super clean water that I filtered and then distilled. And this is how fast I drink it. I just drank a little bit, about half. You're going to see that I finished the whole glass in less than 1 minute. So that was pretty easy, right? I already drank the whole glass. When I put the pitcher back on the machine, it maintains full hydrogen. It's on standby right now. When it says 0 zeros, that means it's on standby. I already ran the machine for the 30 minutes. So the moment I pour it is when the hydrogen will obviously begin to dissipate. That's why I drink it in less than a minute. Now, granted, depending on how you make hydrogen, not that I recommend many of the ways out there, but the way that you make it depends on how long the hydrogen will last. This is actually probably the most stable way I've ever seen. It's also the best way. The second best way, though, is an injection method, but the hydrogen literally, like, you'll have over 90% of the hydrogen gone in like 50 seconds. So it leaves really quickly. And so this is really stable, but this is more for like, it's for home use, but it's such a good method. And this is the #1 machine in Japan, to the point where a lot of medical professionals, this is what they're using, like in medical clinics or doctors recommending certain units to their patients. This is kind of the best way. And of course, if I want hydrogen to actually be effective, I want it to be safe. I want to do it the right way. You know, I'm not into using the pills or those little bottles that are basically just gimmicks, in my opinion. And here we go. I'm almost done with this water. I want you guys to observe how I'm doing this so that way you can learn how to do it too if you're trying to get the most out of hydrogen. All right, so I drank all that cup again. The water started almost like right here, so I'm almost about 1 liter, which is my personal kind of goal amount that I want to be drinking. First thing in the morning, empty stomach. Now remember, this is not medical advice because some people, if you have kidney problems, if you're on certain medications, you kind of have to have a rough idea of what you're doing. And if you want to know the science of it, the science is you shouldn't consume over 1 liter of water in general in 1 hour, because anything over 1 liter in 1 hour roughly will begin to strain the kidneys. So I push it right to that limit. I will have 1 liter, and that's how much I'm going to have right now. And then I'm going to show you the rest of my routine. Today I have a little bit of time. I can answer any questions you guys have. You can ask them below. So basically you get an opportunity to ask questions for free. And I can answer them, whether it's about health or hydrogen or water or whatever your questions might be about. I mean, we can talk about anything too. You know, if somebody wants to ask weird questions about, well, whatever, it doesn't really matter. I'm pretty open right now. Okay, it looks like I drank probably just shy of 1 liter actually, which I'm fine with, so I'm going to shut it off now. And then what I'm going to do, actually I was going to refill it, I just realized I don't have any water. So let's just go ahead and go downstairs, and I'm going to start doing my little water routine, and I'm going to show you guys how I make my morning breakfast and all that kind of stuff. If you guys want to see the Japanese house I'm in, let's see if I can turn the camera. It's hard to probably kind of see. So they're doing some construction outside, so you'll probably hear some noise. And This is the house that I'm staying in. You can see the Japanese tatami room is the one where I took over the water station, so that's my water over there. In fact, let's do, I'll show you a little bit about my water routine if you guys want to see what I'm doing here. Because I don't have the best carbon distiller here in Japan. I have a really good one in the US, so I'm having to make this work. And so I got one of these cheap little ones. Are they good enough? Definitely not, which is why I'm double filtering. And I'll show you, I should show you some of the stuff I've been finding in the tank, so that just shows you that there's definitely stuff in the water. But I'll show you how I'm doing it, you know, just making it work here, because some people are in different countries and they can't get the equipment that I use in the US either. So I can just show you how I do it here. Okay, so what I'm doing here, oops, you know what, I forgot. You know what? Okay, this is what I'm gonna do. I'll be right back, but I'm gonna set this up right now so you guys can see what I'm doing here. So I'm running the water through this type of filter. I guess I don't know if you can see it. Let's see here so you guys can have an idea. Hopefully this gives people ideas on how to clean their water too. So it's a gravity filter, quote unquote, it's called the Alexa Pure. And what I'm gonna do, you know what, there's so many little, it's funny because I use the filtered water in here. Somebody says, how is the cost of living over there? It's actually not bad, especially right now that the dollar's strong. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I'll be right back. I gotta go grab my phone charger because otherwise it's gonna die. But I'm gonna start filling it up right now and I'll literally be right back. Battery is kind of low, so gotta plug in the phone. Cost of living, yeah, it's not bad. Some things are actually cheaper, and life is just very different. Let me turn on the lights here. And so let's see here. So this is how I'm gonna fill up the water. Now I'm gonna start refilling this too, because I'm obviously using up the water in there. It's already looking like a lot of water. You know, housing, I feel like housing has gotten out of control in the US. Here, I guess, depends on where you live, but the housing's not so bad around these parts. The way that the Japanese look at housing is very different than America. It's something I've noticed. You know what? I don't know if I'm gonna have enough water. That's okay. I got a bunch. I should show you guys a gigantic glass jug full of my distilled water. They have, if you guys are interested, there's a place that builds houses and they have a display house. I was actually going to go there because just to check it out. The way that they build is different. So it's kind of cool. But yeah, I think it just depends on, you know, currency. But I will say that my understanding is the Japanese income is kind of low. And everything is just like a notch below. In some ways, like they do things differently here, but certain things are a notch below as far as like pricing, like your car. You know, you can get these little tiny cars that you can't really get in the US that are more inexpensive for like transportation purposes. Typically everything's a little smaller, like the houses are a little smaller. So it's just a little, it's, you know, it's just cheaper, but people make less money for the most part. But I was actually going to show, I thought it might be kind of interesting. I've been riding the bike around a lot, and I was finding a lot of quote unquote kind of ghetto-y areas, you know, quote unquote, you know, areas that don't have really a lot of money. Because I'm not in a very fancy area. I was going to maybe record and show you kind of the Japanese ghetto, because even in the ghettos, people are still very polite and they keep things clean and respectful and, you know, things like that. Okay, so I'm not going to be able to do my full water routine because I don't have enough. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this away. I guess I can take you guys there. You already saw where my little water station is, but I gotta take, you have a rules in the tatami room, so I have to take my slippers off every time. So I'm just going to leave this here for right now. I won't turn it on. Here, I'll show you this. This is pretty cool. Here, I'll show you one thing over here if you can see it. Look at this gigantic glass jug I have here. This one. You can find a lot of good glass containers. And I'm going to grab this one too. Actually, for the smoothies, I'm going to use this one. And so yeah, I'm going to get started on making my breakfast smoothie. And again, you guys are welcome to ask questions while I do it. Or you can just see how I'm making it work here in Japan, because again, ingredients are so different around here. Let me plug in the phone too, because it is definitely about to die. And you know, I thought this would bore you guys, but some people have been really quite interested in what's going on here. They're like, make more videos from Japan. Well, okay, you guys will see my morning routine. And I mean, obviously, drinking the hydrogen water and doing these smoothies were very impactful on my health and life, though I would say I think I had better ingredients in the US than what I'm able to find here, but we'll make it work. Okay. So let's see, that should give you guys a good angle. And the nice thing is, this particular house has a Vitamix and a Hydrofix, but I still needed my own machine upstairs. Because the one that they have down here, I just never really had time to use it. I couldn't inhale from it, all that kind of stuff. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Somebody says, Land of the Blind. I have the Alexa Pure filter. I didn't think it was close enough. I don't think it does enough. I need a distiller. I completely agree with you. It doesn't do enough. And in fact, it helps because basically it's, I don't want to say it's a crappy filter, but that level of filtration, and then with the crappy distiller I have here, is making my water decently good. But is it perfect? No, it's not perfect. But I'll tell you one thing, number one source of microplastics. I don't know if you guys have seen the data on, I should make a video about that. I keep wanting to do that. Microplastics. Have you guys heard about the bodies that they've been biopsying lately and what they're finding in regards to microplastics? Anybody? And Northern Yeti says, I would probably be eating sweet potatoes until I got sick of it in the house over there. Yeah, they do a lot of sweet potatoes here. Okay. Let's see, let's do the vegetables. There's always, boy, there's so many farmers here, I gotta say. And they're always so kind, and they're always bringing food over. They're always bringing some really nice produce. And then the owner here is like, hey, go ahead. You know, she's like, a lot of vegetables around here in Japan. The Japanese eat lots of vegetables. They're like, go ahead, just grab some for your smoothies. And I'm like, okay. I will, thank you. They actually have an abundance of food here. Let's see. Northern Yeti probably got, oh yeah. Yeah, you definitely need distillation. I was talking to somebody who was quite smart yesterday, and they didn't really understand. But I was telling you guys about these biopsies they're doing. And it's not the most wonderful subject, but they're finding high levels of literally microplastics in male and female genitalia. And it's bad, guys. I mean, when I say it's bad, and so people, even if you don't, I mean, obviously everybody cares about their health. Nobody wants to be unhealthy, but you know, if you don't want to be affected hormonally in negative ways and lots of different health issues, I'll tell you that one of the simplest things you can do to help yourself, and a lot of people have hormone issues, and they don't even realize it because, like, even people who get like ovarian cysts and, you know, infertility problems and all sorts of stuff, you know, highly probable that microplastics are playing a role. And so the number one source of microplastics comes from your water. So that would be the first thing that I would tackle. And then beyond water, well, then you start getting into certain foods and different stuff. I mean, you can't avoid all of it. But drinking super clean water, and in my opinion, with hydrogen, obviously, to neutralize a lot of the free radicals and whatnot, is a really simple way to really help improve your odds of overcoming or avoiding a lot of medical issues. Because once you have certain medical issues, I mean, honestly, the medical establishment can only do so much. And a lot of times they're just throwing crap at the dark, seeing what sticks. Like, oh, try this medicine, try that medicine. Okay, let me get some more produce. Let me go grab my basket. Hold on a second. Now, I just realized I normally have a basket that I created like this with a bunch of stuff that I bought for my smoothies. But my greens, the refrigerators in Japan are smaller, and the owner clearly has the whole refrigerator here. So I got to go upstairs and grab. And I'm going to show you some secret ingredients today, by the way, that are super awesome if you've either dealt with the flu. Here's one of the secret ingredients right here, but I got to be back again. I got to go to my fridge upstairs and grab my greens. So give me a second. All right. You guys get to see some of the stuff I've been finding in Japan. A bunch of frozen fruit, especially pineapples. They have a really great enzyme. Somebody says, I love my distiller from My Pure Water. Totally worth it, says Barbara. Oh, yeah. So, see, you totally get it, Barbara. Obviously, I'll tell you, when you try other distillers and then you try a high-quality American one from mypurewater.com, what a difference. I mean, really, what a difference. It's the same thing. People don't realize it, but it's kind of the same thing with hydrogen. People try the cheap Chinese stuff, cheap bottles. I mean, I hate to say it, but it's just become such a scam, in my opinion. It's just horrible. And not just hydrogen, I mean, just the world of health in general. It's very hard to find good products. As you guys know, I'm always trying to show you the good stuff so that you don't have to bother wasting your money. And I do a lot of research to find the best. Because when it comes to your health, at least in my opinion, you got to get the best if you can afford it, or do things the right way, because your health is on the line. Okay, let's do some of this stuff here. Beautiful produce, isn't it? Look at this. They really go next level with the produce here. I mean, I'm not kidding you. You should see. Well, I can explain to you kind of what they do. They literally have like the farmers' names literally go on their produce. They have pictures of the farmer. They have information about how they grow the produce. It's really quote unquote next level. They're very proud of the way that they grow their food in a lot of these farming towns in Japan. And you can tell, I mean, I buy You know, it's funny because I'll buy, when I was living in the U.S., I mean, I would buy, you know, organic produce, and it just, the stuff here feels different. And it feels, everything's much, it's all about freshness in Japan. They're really into that. So yeah, we're gonna try to put a lot of vegetables in here, a lot of greens. Though I will say the Japanese already eat a lot of vegetables, but they do eat, it's not a big deal, but it's a little bit of a concern to the point where I definitely try not to eat it all the time, which is they eat a lot of seafood. I mean, a lot of seafood. It's like a daily thing. And there's nothing wrong with seafood, really, other than the fact that there's just so much microplastics in the ocean. Seafood's a pretty, you know, you get a lot of that in your system. And check this out, I did find some organic. In Japan, they're starting to label it, but a lot of the farmers, you know, they try to grow the food with either no pesticides, which I've already found some, or the minimum amount, but they were never really into like naming their food organic. And so they're kind of getting into that. And I found some, so we're gonna go ahead and put some also in the smoothie, because, you know, a lot of people, it's funny how many people think vegetables, well, not a ton of people, but there are people out there who literally think vegetables are bad for you. And I found some really new, interesting data. So fascinating. And now I've already been, my protocol already addressed it a long time ago, but it's more information's going to be coming out, in my opinion, about this. And that has to do with vitamin D, the way that you absorb vitamin D, but also the potential dangers of quote unquote supplementing vitamin D incorrectly. And basically, people talk a lot about K2, you know, B3 with K2, and also the mineral magnesium. And I discovered actually some techniques on actually how to enhance hydrogen, which definitely almost nobody out there knows. There's, you know, it's the so-called hydrogen experts in Japan or in the US don't really know what they're talking about. But that's no surprise, because a lot of people argue about health when I actually think it's, you know, not the most complicated thing in the world. But if you can easily overcomplicate it, you know, especially when people try to look at what they call like mechanistic action, and they get so like into just, oh, well, this mechanism, you know, but you have to realize that the whole body works in a everything's very synergistic, and one thing affects another thing, and it gets so complicated to the point where you really have to simplify some stuff. And there's some basic ground rules, in my opinion, that not only have I discovered, but I've applied, and they work. And the ground rules, which I'm always trying to help you guys, you know, understand, just like I literally just helped somebody recently, actually a couple, I've been helping them with their health. And they've talked to like health gurus, and they've spent a lot of money on health gurus and physicians, and, you know, it's naturopaths, and I mean, they've spent so much money, and a lot of people have. And then my technique is, they said in 1 week, it's already done so much, it's ridiculous. And hopefully in time I'll share more about their story. But if you really want to always start somewhere, you always start with water. You have to just have clean water. The source of so much of our garbage these days is literally in our water. Okay. So you always start with clean water, but that's not what's going to absolutely change your health. Some people have made that claim. They're like, oh, I started drinking clean water and my whole life changed. I don't think so. I mean, clean water is more of a, what I would say, like a preventative, because you're preventing stuff from coming in your body. And it's also good at flushing stuff out, right? Drinking the proper amounts of water. But obviously you want that proper amount of water to be clean water. Now, if you take hydrogen into it, well, now you're taking things to a whole other level, you know, and that right there is a powerful thing. But then you have to really understand, well, for one, fiber intake. People do not seem to get it, especially people who think that, you know, I hate to say this because I'm not trying to upset people. People get really weird about their beliefs, but let's just say that you need a lot of fiber for things to run right, because you're going to also need minerals. And one thing that people don't realize about fiber, in fact, I was working with, and I use, you know, medical research to create these protocols. And I've been working with somebody who has been struggling with diabetes. And by the way, here's some walnuts I found. Walnuts, if you do the research, you'll find that they're anti-cancerous. They have good fats, good oils. Obviously, they still have fiber and good proteins. And if you notice, I'm going to be telling you I'm really big on minerals. Notice all this stuff has rich mineral content. And one thing you'll learn, especially about the Japanese, that a lot of people I think don't know about, don't talk about it much, they just don't know much about it. And that's that they're really into their soil. And so with this one, this is also rich in minerals and good fiber, and that's prunes. And I found some here, so I'm like, oh, I'll put some prunes. It also brings out some of the sweetness in the smoothie. And for people who, I've been sharing the smoothie with one of the owners here because they said they've been having a little bit of issues with constipation. They don't eat enough fiber, in my opinion, sometimes. And so I'm going to put 3 prunes in there. But one of the things, the way the Japanese grow their soil is very rich in minerals. And it transforms the food. It really does. And minerals are such an important part of health. But what people don't realize, and by the way, here's some ginger. They don't realize how minerals work synergistically with fiber. So you're going to have problems if you're not consuming enough fiber. That's one of the secrets to health. And on top of it all, your body can produce certain things in the gut which are going to require, in my opinion, 1, fiber. 2, if you really want to get to the next level, well, hydrogen. Hydrogen is so amazing for the gut. And so you're able to produce, there's really good bacteria to produce, I mean, we're discovering more and more, the Japanese have discovered a lot, but one of those things is actually K2. So because some people who don't understand, even quote unquote doctors, because they really look at mechanistic action in a very two-dimensional way of viewing things, they try to look at foods that have, you know, vitamin K, K2 in it, which is not a bad thing per se, but a lot of those foods are foods that would, in my opinion, not necessarily be super good for you to consume all the time. And so then you're like, well, then how do I get enough of the K2? Well, you'd be surprised, again, that your body can actually produce some of this. Your gut is absolutely crucial for your health. It's I can't begin to emphasize it enough if you're trying to get to good health. Look at this ginger, pretty cool, huh? So ginger has massive amount of benefits, and again, you're going to see a pattern here with this smoothie. Pattern is minerals and a lot of phytonutrients, a lot of antioxidants, a lot of fiber. This is the pattern you're going to see here. And the average person, if you guys want to hear some statistical data, the average person, now this is in America, I should probably look up the numbers in Japan, that'll be interesting. The absolute minimum amount of fiber that is required by the human body, minimum by the way, which I definitely try to go over the minimum. I'm trying to get my body to be ideal as far as what it's doing for my health, and it's less than 3% of Americans. Less than 3% get the absolute minimum. So the average person is definitely not getting enough fiber. And by the way, if you guys want to do a little research, I did a video on it a while back. The health benefits of ginger. Oh, and by the way, this smoothie, yeah, it's got a lot of things, but I'm really focusing on, let's just say, dissolving some stuff in my blood, because you guys know I caught the I won't say the flu, but you know, I'm not going to say the name of what actually I caught. But I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about if you watch the channel regularly. And I've been working on dissolving some stuff in my blood, which has been going really well, and bringing down inflammation with like the hydrogen. Let me show you one of the secret ingredients. This right here, secret ingredient number 1. Why? Well, 1, it is rich in vitamin K. It's one of the rare foods rich in vitamin K with lots of fiber, lots of good enzymes. That's part of the reason we're putting it in here today, because it has nattokinase or nattokinase, depending on how you want to pronounce it. It's found naturally and only naturally in this one food in the world, which is natto, which is a fermented bean. I'll tell you one thing. Here's another secret. People don't realize you cannot, I hate to say it, but you're going to have a hard time being super healthy if you do not eat beans. Beans are magical. Sometimes I think that's the story of John and the Beanstalk about magical beans. So to activate it, you have to stir it like this. You got to stir it, according to the data, about 100 times. Now, if you just look at it and you get used to what it's supposed to look like, I'll know how many times I should stir it, because it starts kind of foaming up. The bacteria start breathing in oxygen, starts activating them, and I want it all fully activated. I'm going to show you this smoothie today is going to be pretty awesome, actually. I think you guys are going to like this. And I'll tell you, I'm surprised how good it tastes. I wasn't sure if it would taste as good as, I just wasn't sure, because I don't have all the, you know, ingredients that I typically would use and the ones that I like and all that good stuff. You can see it really foaming up now. And you can see it, see? Really activating. And this has almost the same amount of protein as beef, but it also has fiber, and then with the rich enzymes, and it actually naturally thins the blood a little bit, which is a good thing, like a natural statin, but in a natural way, and it really cleans up the blood. This stuff is just amazing. So much research studies, even to the point of oxygenating the blood, oxygenating cancer cells, which is not good for cancer, so appearing to be very anti-cancerous. So many benefits. Natto. This stuff is mind-blowing. It might literally be, well, it's definitely one of the top superfoods in the world. Okay, so putting that in there, which some people will be like, that's crazy. Why in the world? Oh, see, and I found organic natto. Some people will be like, that's crazy. You're really going to put that in there, huh? I'm like, heck yeah. And then look what else I found. Organic matcha. So I'm going to put some matcha in here. So many health benefits from matcha also. Let's go ahead and put some of this in there. And as you guys know, I already loaded up on the hydrogen water before. And that's the way that I like to do my routine. Always load up, get hydrated with clean, and then of course, fully saturated hydrogen. Okay, now let's do the next. What's in store for us next? Now, I was able to find one of my favorite ingredients, blueberries. So blueberries, super good for you. I'm sure you guys know that. So many health benefits from berries in general. I did find a pretty wide variety of different berries, but I like the blueberries. Now this is another special enzyme. This is from pineapples. And I found pineapples, frozen ones, and they really help to flavor the smoothie. And I'm trying to dissolve something in my blood, and I'm using pineapple primarily, and the natto, and then just a lot of the hydrogen water to flush everything out. That's this technique that I'm doing. Plus, look at all the rich minerals and nutrients in this smoothie, so this is good. Okay, what else we got here? What else do I have to remember? I'll tell you, these refrigerators are way too small. I cannot even close the door. Well, also because the owner has so much stuff in here. Wow, okay. I'm not going to be able to fit what I want to fit in there. Now this one, I don't have to put it in there, but I found frozen mangoes and they really are great. Somebody says, I just got a pound of moringa. Any info on the use of it? Oh yeah, I used to put moringa in my smoothie regularly. And a lot of good benefits. I do like moringa, but it gets, I don't know, it gets a little spendy. So I tend to try to find, I mean, hey, if you can afford it, great. But I tend to try to just get stuff. I mean, honestly, if I had access to it, I would get the powder from the website iShopPurium.com. Purium is spelled P-U-R-I-U-M as in Mary, by the way. I've been putting a lot of cucumbers in here lately. They're really good for you. And it's called Power Shake. Man, if I could just put that in there, I'm good. I don't need to really add much beyond that. But, and with considering if I were to weigh out moringa versus that, yeah, I would just easily go with the Purium powder. But yeah, there's nothing wrong with the one that you're using. Okay, what's the next ingredient? Let's go with carrots. Now with carrots, I'll tell you, the blades in Japan, I don't know what it is about the Japanese, but they are into their blades. They're into their metals. And, you know, they're right for it. I mean, it's amazing. And cutting produce with one of their blades, which I'm about to show you right now, the scissors ain't good enough. So I've been using the blades here. And apparently, this person, the old lady who lives here, her husband used to be a sushi chef. So I don't know if you guys know that they pass their blades down from generation to generation. They like literally last more than one person's lifetime. We're talking about lifetimes. And they treat the blade. It's like sacred. And the way that it goes right through these like extremely hard carrots, by the way, like butter, it just goes right through them. And I'll tell you one thing, make sure not to get your finger in there, because then your finger will, you know, gosh, can you imagine if that happened right now on camera? That would be scary. Now the carrots over here are quite different, I've noticed. It's almost, I don't know, there's something different about the carrots here. Maybe it's they're different type of carrot, but they're really nice. I really like them. They're shaped differently. They seem to be shorter and fatter. Very, very hard carrots. And they are more spendy than the US. But I also noticed I don't cut like any bad spots off of them. So, and it's fine when it comes to my health. And carrots are so good for you. The health benefits of carrots too is another one of those ones that are just super important to me, and they're typically affordable. The ones that are more expensive here is the beets. If you can find them, boy, they are spendy. So I have not been buying beets lately. I had beets for a very long time, so I'm like, it's okay. Let's see, somebody says, Japanese make the best cars and knives in my opinion. Oh yeah, and the best hydrogen at this point. Do you ferment your own natto or buy it already fermented? Oh, I buy it from the pros. That's for sure. Okay, what else can I fit in there? It looks like I can fit something else. I can either put more fruit or I can put more greens. And I think I'm gonna go, look at this one. I like when you can get literally the greens still in the dirt. I think I'm gonna put a little bit of this stuff today. And I actually hopefully I won't have to stop the video all of a sudden, but I might have to, because I was invited today, by the way, guys. I was invited to a hot spring. So I'm going to be going here after I do my morning routine, of course. And that'll be kind of fun. I still am trying, by the way, I'm really trying to get footage of, see, you're not allowed to take cameras in the hot springs, because that's where just everybody gets naked and soaks in the springs like almost like a newborn baby, you know. And I'm trying to get permission, like right around closing hours or something, to see if I can get some footage for you guys, because it is so awesome. I mean, it is, I don't know what to tell you other than it's super cool. To be able to soak in these springs, it's like magical. You know what I might do? I think I might, gosh, I'm tempted. I'm gonna put another carrot. I really like these carrots. That's what I'm gonna do here. And but yeah, the reason that the Japanese make good cars and knives and also hydrogen, I don't think people actually really understand. If you were to look at how they do things, so a lot of it has to do, it's kind of like food. One, it's the ingredients you use, but also how you put the ingredients together. And the way that they engineer and put the cars together, you know, they do a lot with very little in a lot of ways. And of course their metal technology is, I mean, that's part of the ingredients. You have to have proper metal to make both a good car. Only really America, Japan, and like Germany really have like really good metal technology. And that obviously translates to these blades too, but there's also so much detail. You know, you could give good wood to two people, and the way one person would cut it and work it into a piece of furniture compared to the other person, you know, but you still need the high quality wood, you know, in order to do things the right way. So I'm trying to oversimplify it, but yes, you are right. The Japanese do make probably the best cars and best knives in the world. And nobody really knows about their hydrogen much, it seems, but they definitely make the best hydrogen because they focus on how it's made and, again, the ingredients, the type of metal they use, the membrane. Literally nobody even uses this stuff. Well, at least the number one company in Japan uses stuff that nobody else uses because they don't look at the details, at least as of yet. Okay, let's use 2 bananas today because I found some on sale and they're churning. And they make everything taste really good. Somebody says the patience they have helps, I bet, in the use of the profit, not quality. Yeah, I'm not sure I'm reading your comment there quite right because I'm doing this. But yes, there is a lot of patience. In fact, I have a video I haven't released yet. I released it on my other channel. If you guys really want to see it, I can post it here too. I went to a guy's home who I was invited to see his personal bonsai garden. Oh my gosh, guys. I've never really been into bonsai, but I gotta say, it was quite impressive actually. I was quite impressed, and the level of patience and the little bonsais are, well, I don't want to say they're priceless, but kind of. The level of care, like some of his little trees were basically like 20 years old, 10 years old. He had one little one that was just kind of something that he'd recently started. And I was like, oh, you just recently started it? You know, how old is it? And he's like, oh, it's 3 years. And I'm like, what? That little thing that's 3 years in the making? It was like crazy. Still have a little room here, so I'm gonna put another cucumber. Cucumbers, I'm telling you, rich in minerals, fiber. And then of course, you know, a lot of these fruits, vegetables, plants have a lot of properties that the world still doesn't know about. I mean, they learn about phytonutrients, they learn about these unique antioxidants and stuff like that, but there's a lot of things that, in my opinion, they do, and it's just easier to just grow them right and then find a way to eat them. Okay, now check this out. Now I'm going to show you another magical ingredient. This has been very sweet of the elderly woman who lives here. Check this out. She's been making me literally fresh. There's no ingredients in here other than super clean water, and she's using natural beans, soybeans, to make this. Now, the Japanese consume more soy than anybody in the world. I know some people have seen some pretty bad research about it, but the latest data has actually shown that the original studies were flawed. This stuff is so good for you. I mean, so many nutrients. In fact, you know what? I should do a video on it. The amount of nutrients found in these magical beans, and the Japanese consume more than anybody in the world of this particular bean, and on top of it, they have the highest life expectancy of any industrialized nation in the world. So that tells you anything. But yeah, you know what? That's a good idea. I think I will make a video about it. A lot of people argue. That's fine. They can believe what they want to believe, but I use a lot of my gut instinct too, but rich in minerals and nutrients. And there we go. And then I'm going to add some of my super clean water. And now the question is, guys, for those of you stuck around, do you think the blender is going to blend this thing? Because at some point, doesn't it look ridiculous? I mean, and this is stuffed. Like, I pushed down on this. You cannot fit anything else in this thing. Oh, you know what? I see some air pockets. You know what that means? That means I can fit more water in here. Let's put some more water. Or I could put more of the soy milk, but I'm going to put more water because I don't want to use up all that soy milk in just one day. Though I'm sure it'd be really good. Maybe I will. Maybe I'm a little tempted to add just a splash more. Somehow a fly got in here and it's bugging me. It's like, don't land in my smoothie, whatever you do. Okay, let's try this. Do you guys think it'll blend? Well, we're about to find out. Here we go. Pretty good. Periodically, I like to let it stop so everything settles to the bottom where the blades are. And then what I'm going to do, excuse me, I'm still getting a little bit of stuff out from this cold I had, but I am feeling much better. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to fire up this blender and go put away some of this stuff in the freezer. So here we go. Pretty much done. Let's check this out real quick. Okay, we're gonna test it out. Let's see how it came out today. Some days it tastes different than others. I don't know, it feels like it's still chopping stuff up, actually. Let's just find out. If it's still chopping stuff up, I can always put it back there on the blender. Oh, I gotta show you guys this. You know what? You guys want to see a funny Japanese thing? Here, I'll show you. I mean, they have all sorts of funny stuff like this. I was gonna do a video about this one. Let's see. Can you see it on camera? This guys. So what these are is they're holding a lot of these towels that are used to dry stuff. But look, they're magnetic. See? And so they just put them on the refrigerator here, and I can hang up all these little drying towels. Makes it so easy and simple. They do a lot of things like that around here. Really like brilliantly simple stuff. All right, let's try breakfast. It's a little thick, actually. I think I might want to add a little more water. Tastes good. You know what I'm going to add today? Some people might say it's a little too much, but you know what? I'm going to, because I can tell it needs a little water. I'm going to add one more banana because the bananas are churning and I'm going on this hot spring trip. Who knows? They're probably going to churn and go bad. And then just for the heck of it, I am going to put some more of this wonderful soy milk this lady made. And that is going to make it taste even better. Got a lot of produce I got to take upstairs back to my refrigerator because it's starting to thaw out here. So you guys are going to have to give me a second here. Let's blend that up meanwhile. That should work. Let's see here. I could maybe even throw in another prune. Let's see how it's tasting. Still quite thick. When it's a little thick, that means I can add even more, maybe even a little more water. Oh yeah, that tastes really good. You wouldn't think it either. I mean, putting all these strange ingredients, you would not think. You know what? Now that I think about it, I'd like to put some more blueberries in there. Oh well. We're gonna go with the bananas because the blueberries ain't going anywhere. They're frozen, so they'll be fine. But I will add a little bit more water. Well, I guess not too many people have too many questions today, so I'll probably be letting you guys go soon. But you got to see how I'm making the Japanese smoothie here, making it all work. Blend that up one more time. I'll tell you one thing, this thing is definitely rich in a lot of fiber, minerals, and nutrients. Massive amount of protein too, actually. Let's see how this, oh yeah, this looks like perfect thickness now. Let's see. Oh yeah, there we go. Is it the perfect smoothie? Well, is there such a thing? I would say that it's about as perfect as you're gonna get, other than I'm just missing my purine powder, which I really miss. Cheers, guys. Oh yeah, okay, there we go. This tastes really good. So let's see, somebody says, oh yeah, the patience. Yeah, the Japanese patience is pretty remarkable. Okay, guys, well, if you don't have any questions, I'm gonna go ahead and let you go and put all this produce away. You can see here how I have my little basket. I'm gonna put everything back in here. But a lot of the other produce needs to go in the fridge. This will go in that tatami room I was just in. You know what I've been wanting to do, but boy, I'll tell you, you don't want to put avocados in a smoothie in Japan. This thing ain't cheap here. But I would like to. Just never have. Okay, guys. Well, since there's no questions, I'm going to let you guys go. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing, sharing, all that good stuff. I mean, I don't know. Very few people would want to watch this kind of stuff, but I wanted to show you guys a hydrogen routine, the full routine in the mornings. I'm literally going to be going and soaking in a hot spring right now. And then I'm actually going to get ready to go to a different hot spring where I'm going to be spending the night. Somebody says, are you there for good or for visiting? Well, I'm here for good. This is it. Soaking in these springs is so, like, in my opinion, priceless. And good luck finding that, you know, anywhere in the world like this. But it's not just a hot spring. The places I go, they have these cold springs next to it too. They're all coming from deep within the earth. So we're not talking tap water, which I'm sure you guys know I'm not a huge fan of tap water. And whoops. I have been finding these like kind of nutritional little powders here. They're these green powders. But I gotta figure out how to read the ingredients more today. Okay, so Land of the Blinded says, appreciate you, buddy. Yeah, you're very welcome, guys. Hopefully it helps with anybody trying to develop a health routine for themselves. Actually, you know what, if you guys want, I think I can actually finish my water routine. Hold on. Because while we were making the smoothie, the water filter probably filtered some more water. Oh yeah. Then I can show you how to run in the distiller if you guys really want to see it. By the way, the other trick to health, blood flow. So you got to keep your pipes clean, you know, your blood vessels. And proper hydration, hydrogen, and not eating too much stuff that will clog them up. Fiber, again, is going to be absolutely key for that. Blood flow with all the nutrients in your blood. All right, let's let's see here. I'll show you guys if you want to know how I'm doing all this. Let's take the camera to the room where my water filtration's happening. I know I got this whole water routine. I don't think they think I'm crazy, but the people here are like, man, I should do that. But it's just people don't want to go through the trouble. And this thing is trouble. I mean, look at this thing. It's such a pain in the rear. But hey, clean water is too important to me. Oh, you know what? Let me grab just a tiny bit more. Not quite enough to run the distiller. And then I'll show you the timer I set on it too. So hold on. Okay. Maybe I should turn on the light. No, that helps. Probably not. Okay, let's see. Let's hope this was enough water. Right there. Okay, because there's a line. It tells you when it's full. Okay, so just doing this, in my opinion, would not be good enough, guys. So that's why I run it through the other filter first. And then, so we're having a double filter here, and then I got it set up on a timer. So I turn it, I had to literally mark it, if you can see, I don't know if you guys can see how I have a little blue mark. And I get it really close to that so that it doesn't make a mess. And then this little container here will catch it. Not my favorite, but it's about as good as I'm going to get for right now. And I'm happy with it. One of these days I'll have to have some of that, the good stuff shipped from America. Especially like that carbon distiller I like to use. That thing is so next level. I always knew that it was good, but after going back to a mediocre distiller, and then people contact me and they're like, hey, I bought a distiller and it kind of sucks. I'm like, well, which one did you buy? Well, aren't they all the same? No. They're kind of not. Oh, I didn't know. Okay, you know what? Do you guys want me to take you upstairs while I put my produce away, or do you guys want me to let you go? I got a little bit of time. Because I thought maybe the video was getting a little long. Oh, shoot. What happened to my, here, hold on. Plug you guys back in here. Somebody says, sure. Barbara says, take us with you. Okay. Let me go grab that water bottle. Hold on. I need to refill. Yeah, you know what? I think I forgot. I was telling about those microplastics. People wonder. I mean, it's such a problem these days, and I don't think people realize the value of clean water sometimes. Even people who are smart. So what I will do, obviously I'm going to drink the smoothie first, but then maybe I'll make some green tea or something. This goes, put this in the tatami room. And then I gotta take all the other produce upstairs. Or, yeah. All right. So I keep some of the filtered water here for the owners. They use it distilled sometimes, but they don't care as much as I do. But look at these beautiful glass bottles from Japan. These are actually made to make plum wine. And the Japanese think I'm funny for using these. They also think it's funny that I wear an apron. Not a lot of guys do the things I do. In Japan, it's very, very like quote unquote men have their roles, women have their roles in the house, and and stuff like that. Somebody says Land of the Blinded. I need hydrogen and distiller. Prices are way up after cooties. After cooties. I don't think I understand your statement there. But I understand the importance of them. I mean, clearly it's one of the things that changed my life. Okay. Question is, I need a bag for all this stuff. Let's grab them. I'll take you guys to my refrigerator, I guess. I really gotta put all this stuff away. Okay. If you guys want to see my other refrigerator, because this one, and I'm gonna take some smoothie with me. Man, this smoothie came out really good. You can just taste good. Oh yeah, and they're really big on unplugging stuff here. I don't know why they always ask me to do that. They're like, oh, please unplug the blender. I'm like, okay. All right. Okay. Wakarimashita. Okay. So yeah, if you guys want to see that bonsai garden that I recorded, let me know. And I could release that footage. I mean, honestly, it impressed me more than I thought it would. I didn't think I'd like it like that much. So yes, and this is how you go upstairs. And you should see the bathrooms here because they don't have like multiple showers in the house. It's just one. But granted, I like never shower here because I go to the hot springs to bathe. So here's my refrigerator up here. And I wouldn't say that it's really mine per se, as they have a bunch of their stuff in there. But they allow me to use some of the space here. Okay. At some point, I might have to get my own place. But for the time being, in a lot of ways, I'm still trying to figure out where in the world I want to live, you know? Like, even if it's in Japan here, I have to figure out where in Japan. I mean, I still have a lot of stuff to do. Somebody says, yes, show the garden. Okay, I will release that footage then later. If I don't get a chance today, I'll do it next time. Oops. This guy. I really should show you how they showcase their produce here. It's kind of a thing of beauty, really. I should take you guys to one of their farms. You should see the farm. There. Kind of beautiful. Farming's beautiful, isn't it? I mean, really think about it. We're talking about a tiny little seed that turns into this. It's like magic. Stuff just grows out of the dirt, if you can believe that, huh? Crazy, huh? I know. And then we just all take it for granted. We're just like, yeah, it's food. Trish Kincaid says, thank you, I'm new to this. Oh, then you definitely want to watch from the beginning, because I was showing people how to consume hydrogen properly. Of course, it all depends. I mean, this channel was really, it's really just to show the techniques that I use to heal my body because I was extremely sick. Well, technically, I'm not even supposed to be alive, so if that tells you anything. Couldn't walk. Look at me now, I'm walking. Yeah. So, okay, and you know, if you guys want to see my little, so here's my little, they call it my onsen kit. And onsen means hot spring. So this is like what I take to the hot springs. Here's my basket. This is to wash my body. This is you carry this little towel around to wipe like the sweat off of you and you're sitting in the hot springs. Then of course my soap. You can bring a toothbrush sometimes if you want to brush your teeth while you're there. So this is my little hot spring basket, and this is kind of cool. The Japanese created this thing that catches the water. So then you dump the water later. It's just your little hot spring basket. And then in here, you know, I'll just carry like a big towel once I'm all done. Sometimes I'll bring clean clothes obviously here, and even pajamas. Why pajamas? Because I went at nighttime too. So I tend to like to bathe in the mornings and then bathe at night. And sometimes if you have time during the day, you can bathe during the day. So a lot of bathing going on. Feels, and the minerals, the way they come in through your skin. Oh, actually here, you should check out, I was gonna do a video on this thing too. This is one of the bathrooms upstairs. You should see the door stopper. It's like a whole other thing where it just locks into place. It's not like a rubber door stopper like in the US. It's almost like really high tech. And excuse me guys, I'm gonna blow my nose real quick. And oh, thank you, that was much better. So this door stopper, but somehow, so it stops the door. What I don't understand is how it just knows when you finally pull on it to just unlock. So it locks in somehow and then knows when you want it to unlock. I don't actually really know how it works. But the toilet flushes itself. There's a sink above it so you don't waste water. So when it flushes, you wash your hands on the sink above there. And you'll notice it's always half bathrooms. Where you actually bathe is always built differently, especially in the US. It's like designed to have a lot of water and moisture so you don't rot your bathroom like a lot of the ones in the United States. Well, honestly, guys, I think that's it. So, if you have any last questions, you're welcome to ask them now. If not, I'm going to say goodbye here in a second. I'm going to drink the rest of my smoothie. Then I'll try to release that video of the bonsai. The bonsai trees. Really pretty. If the lady here had one, I would show you, but she doesn't. I mean, you have to have, the guy kept telling me, he's like, you have to have so much patience. Like your level of patience. And I'm like, hey dude, I don't doubt it. He would spend 8 to 9 hours a day in his little garden. And it felt so peaceful too. And I like the feeling of peace, just so you know, like that's actually my favorite emotion. Some people might like, there's so many different emotions, but my favorite is peace. That's the one that brings me happiness. Now I will say, I did find this, I was looking for this. I had to order it online though. And then Land of the Blind, it says, have a good bath. Thanks again. Yeah, you're welcome. And I will, I definitely will. Vitamin D3, guys, especially after the thing that I just went through. I know the data on it, and it really depletes you. You always want to have the right minerals with it, though. And you really want to have a good gut to be able to absorb and avoid some of the negative things that can happen from taking too much. I don't take a ton. I'm going to take, right now, I'm going to take about, probably about 2,000 IUs, maybe just a tiny bit less. And so what I do is, this one I'm doing a little differently. I'm going to put this under my tongue, actually. And that's it. Hold it there for about 30 seconds. And again, all this stuff working synergistically. With all the fiber, all my proper hydration, just everything that I've done. And that's it, guys. Thanks for hanging out. Hope you enjoyed it. I'm just gonna sit here and enjoy my smoothie and then get on with the day. So I'll see you guys next time on the next one.